and welcome to my Doctor Who review, where today I review The Time Warrior, which is the first story of Jon Pertwee's fifth and final season, and it is also the introduction of Sarah Jane Smith. Oh yes, Sarah Jane Smith, she is definitely one of my favourite companions of the show, possibly my favourite female companion, but we'll have to wait and see about that. So, The Time Warrior. When scientists start to go missing in the 20th century, the Doctor is called in by the Brigadier to investigate. His investigations lead him to deduce that they are being kidnapped through time, and he sets off in pursuit, unknowingly kidnapping journalist Sarah Jane Smith in the process. Arriving in the Middle Ages, the Doctor and Sarah find themselves caught up in the machinations of the robber Baron Irongron and his man from the stars. The alien, a Sontaran named Lynx, is arming him with modern weapons in return for helping him repair his damaged ship. It's up to the Doctor and Sarah to stop him from ruining the Earth's timeline. So, the Doctor Who... What? Sorry? No, the Time Warrior. I can't even speak today. I'm sorry. I'm a little frustrated. I've just had to record this review twice over. This is the third time I'm recording this, so I'm hoping that it's not going to fuck up on me. So I do apologise about that. The first time I had was technical issues. It wouldn't save the file. And then the second time, half the video I hadn't even recorded. And I didn't realise, so I'm hoping this is going to work. So, The Time Warrior. This is a very good story. A very fun story. I really like it. And I like the fact that it's a medieval setting. Apparently Robert Holmes, who wrote this story, was given the task by Terence Diggs to write the story in a medieval castle, and I think he rose to the challenge. Of course, Diggs would later give Holmes the task of writing a story in a lighthouse in horror Fang Rock, which would air in 1977 with Tom Baker. But as for this, I mean, it's a very good story, and I think the setting is fantastic. I mean, that castle that they film in is very, very huge and very big, and it really works in the scope of the story. If someone could let me know where they filmed that would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to know about that. Did they build the castle or did they go somewhere? I mean, that must have been expensive. I'm just curious. I think the acting of the story is, for the most part, very good. Pertwee is once again great as the Doctor. You can tell he's kind of a little down after the loss of Delgado, and also Katie Manning left the show at the end of the last story, The Green Death. So I guess he's a little bit, he's not as enthusiastic as he normally is, but he's still trying his best. He gives a decent performance, and I still like him. And his relationship with Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane in this story works very well. And I like the fact that Sarah Jane is more challenging to the Doctor. You know, she wasn't like Jo when Jo started. She wasn't like particularly ditzy or anything. She's a journalist, so she's very logical. She likes the facts, and she actually tries to accuse the Doctor of all the disappearances. So there's a bit of friction between them, and then he's trying to get her to make him a cup of tea, and she doesn't believe. You know, she gets annoyed about that. But she's not Liz. She's not a scientist, but I like her character very much. And when she does realise that she's travelled in time, it's a bit like, oh, okay, right, whoa, what the hell? She struggles to take it in, but she then kind of adjusts to it fairly well and embraces it, which is really cool. The villains are very good. I think Lynx is a great villain as the Sontaran. I've never been a huge fan of the Sontarans, but I've always appreciated the design at least. The design is really cool, although they do look like potato heads, and they're basically just soldiers. There's not really much to them. I found them a little goofy in that David Tennant story, the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky. But Lynx is pretty cool here. I mean, this is the first story to feature a Sontaran, so that's really cool. And I really appreciate that. The other villain, of course, is Irongron. He is basically this big brute. He's like a soldier, commander. I mean, general. I don't exactly know what rank he is, but he's like the leader of the medieval soldiers, and he's good. Although the only thing is, some of his acting is a bit hammy, is a little bit over the top. So he could have worked on that to try not to be so hammy. But other than that, you know, he's pretty great. He just shouts quite a lot. I do like the way him and Lynx meet their demises, so to speak, and that was fun. The other supporting cast are pretty good. I think June Brown actually appears in this story. June Brown, who plays the lady of the castle here, she's actually known for EastEnders. She plays Dot Branning. She's really good there. But I think she's good in this story, and it's not interesting to see her younger, much younger in this story. I don't know what that was. My only sort of other complaint really about the story is that the first part of the story is a little bit filler. I would have actually liked the story to kind of zip into itself more quickly. I mean, it's only 4 parts, but the first half of part 1 was a little slow. It took too long for the Doctor and Sarah to get to the medieval ages. I would have liked them to get there a bit quicker, because some of the scenes in the medieval castle before the Doctor arrives are a little bit pointless, really. It's just to set up the characters, to set up the villains. But it's not a major complaint. The direction by Alan Bromley is also very good, and Barry Letts also does a good job producing the story. It's a very fun, breezy story to start the season. Not quite as intense as the Green Death, which I suppose is a good thing. But yeah, that's all I'm going to sort of say, really. The music isn't really all that memorable. I don't think there is much music in this story, not that I can remember. So, that being said, I'm going to score this story a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that's it for the Time Warrior, and also I want to say a big thank you to Nicholas Payne for lending me the DVDs. He was kind enough to lend me the DVDs for all 5 stories, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. So, next time on Doctor Who Review, we look at Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Oh, that's a popular one. That should be fun. So, until then, thank you guys all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.